So we have today a really special guest. We have the person who has been the most achievable things doing in Astana, and I would like to give him a word to present himself. Kairat, could you please give a few words about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Kairat Kelimbetov. I'm governor of Astana International Financial Centre, which is a recent initiative of the first president Nursultan with the idea to create regional financial hub in Central Asia. But I think later on we will also try to be financial hub for Eurasian Economic Union and Belt and Road Initiative in Central Asia. Previously I worked for the Central Bank and Ministry of Economy and Budget Planning, Ministry of Economy and Trade, and I used to be also Chief Executive Officer of Sovereign Wealth Fund Kazakhstan.
Could you please give a little bit wider view of the activities and the purpose of the Astana International Financial Centre?
Yeah. So first I think the most important part is financial connectivity, which is now very important to bring the region of Central Asia also to be, let's say, closer to the markets, big markets globally. I think you should know that 50% of the trade in Kazakhstan is European Union, but also the important partners are China and Russia, 20% China, 20% Russia. And I think that in the trends of the new technologies, fourth industrial revolution, very important to build with digital connectivity, digital financial connectivity between big markets and between Kazakhstan and also any other countries in the region. It was the idea to create a financial center of a new generation financial center, which is digital. And we see nowadays that there's huge changes globally in the financial industry. The conventional financial industry is changing the landscape. It's not only the traditional banking and insurance institution, but also big tech is coming, fintech industry is coming. Sometimes not just to replace, but not only be disruptive, but maybe to strengthen in this conventional industry. And we in Kazakhstan decided we have to be supportive, we have to be friendly to the new technologies, to the business community, we have to create friendly regulatory and legal regime. The idea of the first president of Kazakhstan was to let's say, study the best practice in Hong Kong, Singapore, but also the Middle East, like Dubai International Financial Centre, Abu Dhabi, Qatar. And we created a legal and regulatory enclave in Kazakhstan, which is based on common law jurisdiction, which is very revolutionary in the legal system, because traditionally post-Soviet Union countries are based on the European continental law. So we are in Kazakhstan like in Hong Kong, like Hong Kong system in China, one country, two system. We created the new subsystem, let's say. So we have a traditional, conventional legal system, but we also have a new subsystem, which is create best regulatory and legal regime for the financial industry and auxiliary services based on common law jurisdiction. The common law jurisdiction is a very spread in global financial centers like New York, Toronto, London, Hong Kong, Singapore, which is like 75% of deals and transactions based on common law jurisdiction. This is very adaptive legislation for the new innovations. That's why we also would like to use this jurisdiction with the idea to create dispute resolution authorities. So we have the court system independent from the local court. We have an international arbitration center, which is allow us to protect and guarantee for the global investors to come to Kazakhstan, but through us to the region as well. And this system allows to also structure it with deals and structuring different SPVs and investment funds based on jurisdiction of Astana International Financial Centre. So we positioned ourselves like a gateway to from one side to the region of Central Asia, to Kazakhstan, to Eurasian Economic Union, and the other way around. I think that through us, the countries in the region can also invest to the rest of the world.
What would be your most important areas or the interest of the business which you would be willing to invite, let's say, for participation, for cooperation?
Yeah. I think here is 2 tiers. Like a financial hub, we are focusing on the development of the capital markets. I mentioned that we have upcoming huge process of the privatization. It will be the IPO of the biggest company belongs to the government in Kazakhstan, National Oil and Gas Company. Already started the SPO of the National Uranium Company, so we expect the privatization of Telecom, National Air Carrier, and we have also the many private sector companies who want to be listed. The last year it was the IPO of the biggest bank in Kazakhstan, Halyk Bank, but this year we also expect the listing of the biggest fintech platform, which is one of the also the famous banking institution, Kaspi Bank in Kazakhstan. We also want to develop the new industries like green finance, like fintech, but also to develop private wealth management. It's very important to our region to provide the, let's say, new digital tools of private wealth. This is like very important for financial hub, but also because we are supportive to the bringing foreign direct investment to Kazakhstan and to the region. So we have to have in mind that we have to develop the junior mining platform. We also want to develop mining, agriculture, food processing, and I think we have all these kind of tools to bring the majors, big companies with idea to heavily transform these industries in Kazakhstan and other Central Asian countries.
From what you mentioned, one of the industries which is really highly developed in our markets, like Baltics at least, these are the fintech companies, and they're really booming in our region. So I guess this one would be something you would really like to attract to your center. If we take it on the practical way, what would be, let's say, the real benefits or, let's say, immediate advantages which you could let's say, show?
I think for the young fintech companies, the most important is to be recognized by the regulation communities. We have a very, let's say, very friendly regime to the regulation for the new fintech companies. We have a regulation authorities. We have a special sandbox regime where they can test this technology, because sometimes the central banks or regulation authorities are scary about the new fintech companies. So how this new model can protect consumers' rights, how these technologies can be spread for the rest of the region. And these new models should be tested. And in order to be tested, you have to get access to through the different API or through the open banking system, like to the real markets. But under the supervision of the regulation authorities. So we have this regime. And after we have a 12 months to be in this regime, and after the fintech communities can get the full financial license, and getting the full financial license, you can be recognized in this market and many other markets. So this is very much important. For us, you can get also access to be tested not only in our regulation authorities, but also in GFIN, which is a global financial innovation network, which is, again, through this you can get recognition in all the biggest markets like UK, Singapore, Hong Kong, European Union. Also, we have access through our partners to different new marketplaces, like you can get access through new marketplaces to work with the central banks in the Eurasian Economic Union. So it's many opportunities for the fintech. Again, it's a very friendly regulation authorities from one side, and from the other side, the situation in the business in the market is the following: the country is now in a way waiting to the new destination, that leapfrog to the new technologies, like bring the new understanding of the financial inclusion of the new technologies. So for the conventional banking area, not to be, let's say, necessarily disruptive, but be supportive. But from the other side, to be disruptive to some particular institution as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this short interview, and I hope we will do the operation.
Yeah, thank you very much for opportunities to participate in such event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.